Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today I'll be reviewing the amazing Yamaguchi Juri from Street Fighter 6. Now this is an interesting figure because it has been massively delayed. I believe it was originally scheduled for May of 2025, then it was sort of indefinitely delayed. A lot of pre-production versions found their way onto store shelves in some other countries besides Japan. And they had really poor QC, but people had them early, so it was really awkward, and it sort of made me worry. I was wondering if the delay was to fix QC or as a licensing thing. The same thing happened to the Chun-Li. She was delayed, but only a few months. The Ryu and the Luke have been massively delayed as well. As of recording, no date is set, so I'm not sure what's going on there, but Juri finally released in December of 2025, and it seems like she hasn't fixed any of the QC issues. So I'm not really sure what the story was there, but this is an awkward figure to talk about, and we will be talking about it. So taken out of the box, here's what Juri comes with, and it's a pretty good loadout. She is one of my favorite characters in Street Fighter, so I was really looking forward to this. So we get the figure itself, we get 4 faces for Juri, as well as an alternate face for Chun-Li. Chun-Li also has an alternate face for Juri. She comes with 6 alternate hands, she comes with her phone, 2 attack effects, as well as a full stand. And I did also get the pre-order or store exclusive bonus face. It's a pretty good loadout of accessories. Amazing Yamaguchi, when they need to, they really pull out all the stops for accessories, but usually articulation and sculpt is where this line really shines. So out of the box and on a display here is Juri, and I will say, as this is an Amazing Yamaguchi figure, which usually tends to exaggerate proportions a bit, like case in point the Chun-Li that they released, where her proportions seemed less slim, a little bit chunkier. That worked, and it worked in the Street Fighter sort of style. A lot of the time they go, pretty crazy on the designs, but this is one of the ones that seems pretty damn accurate to the character. Nothing seems too out of whack or overly exaggerated, so I think this one fits fairly well, closer to the Revoltech line than it does Amazing Yamaguchi, which is interesting. But she looks really good. All of the paint applications are nice. The faces could probably be a little bit sharper, but in general I'm pretty happy with it, and she just she looks like Juri, and I'm happy about that. Now before we move on, I'm going to do posability and then talk more about some of the issues that this figure has. So she's got a ball joint in the head and neck, allows for good range of motion because she can look up and down really far. Amazing Yamaguchi tend to do great in this regard anyway. Arm can move up that far. There's a bend at the elbow, and you can rotate across the elbow a little bit as well. The bracelets are floating pieces, the hands can rotate on a hinge. There is also a rotation at the upper arm. This is incredibly tight out of the box, and I would recommend using something like silicone grease to loosen it up, because it is very easy to break this part. I noticed how tough it was out of the box, so I was like, oh, okay, I'm fixing this immediately because this figure looks like it's gonna snap in my hands. The hairpiece is also really loose on the base face that comes out of the box, so that was also annoying to deal with as well. But you've got to be really careful with the shoulders, and for some reason, even after lubricating them with silicone grease, they only rotate from the back around forward and not forward around back. It's really weird, but that's how I do the butterflies and range of motion. It's a little bit awkward, but yeah, not a fan of how that all worked. Pretty unforgivable QC, honestly. There's a ball joint in the chest, which allows her to arc her back that far, and there's a ball joint in the waist, which allows her to arc back and forward as well. It can be a bit gappy if you're not careful with it, but it's overall pretty fine. The plug in her back for the stand is also a little bit smaller than the actual stand plug, so I had to force it to get a little bit wider, which kind of sucks as well. Not sure if that's on every copy too, but yeah, that's a problem with the Juri. Then her belt is a bit of a floating piece, but it is attached to her body. She can do the splits that far, she can kick forward and back that far. The legs are terribly loose. They cannot hold a pose really at all. You can sort of make it work, but it's not great. There's a thigh swivel, there's a really deep bend, which is nice, and it's sort of segmented so you can sort of pose it a little bit differently. There's a pivot at the ankle, hinge at the ankle, and hinge at the toes. Her ankles are weirdly stiff, which makes it a little bit awkward for really dynamic posing, but I'd rather that than too loose like the legs. I haven't fixed the legs yet. I should put some joint strengthener in there once I take them out. But she can barely stand up without a stand in neutral poses, so it really sucks. It's awful for a character that is based all around their legs, and pretty much all of the weight of the figure is in their legs. It's just, why are they the loosest part on it? It's just awful. Not a fan of this at all. If the massive delay had anything to do with quality control, it needed to be delayed even further. This is pretty awful. And I've had some pretty bad Amazing Yamaguchis over the last year for QC that needed to be fixed, with parts just falling off or not moving at all. And this is the worst of the bunch, because there's so many compounding issues that get in the way of every single thing you do. And that is not fun. It is not fun to deal with at all. I really wanted to like this figure. I really like Juri. But if I had to fix, 4 things on this figure, that's not a good thing. The figure's not done. So yeah, just not really happy with it. Now, for faces, we get a smiling face out of the box. Looks pretty alright. There's the same sort of expression, but looking slightly to the side. Not super noticeable at this scale, just because of how small the eyes are, so I would have preferred a completely different expression. But it's fine as is. She's got a puffed out cheeks look. She's got her mouth open, looking to the side look. This is sort of meant to be an action-y face. She has a similar problem to the Chun-li, where the expressions are a little bit harder to read. Better than the Chun-li's, but the Chun-li's shouting face was awful. You could barely tell that she was meant to be shouting in an action-y pose. This one doesn't have that bad of a problem, but it is still sort of prevalent. Then we get the sort of reaction face with eyes closed, mouth open. This is the face that came with the Chun-li figure. Same thing with how the Juri comes with the face for Chun-li. Similar thing, but Chun-li's face, at least there, she's got her teeth clenched, so it's a little bit more readable as being attacked. And then there's the pre-order store exclusive face, where she's got her tongue out to one side and sort of this punky sort of look. It's nice. I do like this face quite a bit. But I just wish they were, a little bit sharper or a little bit more noticeable for details. It's a bit of a shame. But with the accessories and the posability, you can get Juri into some pretty nice poses. It takes a lot of work, and I wasn't a fan of the entire posing process. She does look good. Look, I cannot deny it. She does look fantastic, but, one good shake and the entire kick pose you've got will fall apart unless you do something about the legs. So it's a bit annoying. I did enjoy the figure still, but there is just, always a problem with every single thing that you do with this figure, which sucks. She pairs well with the Chun-li, obviously, will probably pair well with the Ryu and the Luke as well. Her effect parts are actually pretty damn cool. They plug into the bottom of her feet, and it's on a hinge, so you can rotate it around and angle it however you like to achieve a really nice look, and it can sort of look a little bit more seamless than most of the other stuff on this figure, which is nice. And I was able to achieve just about every pose that I could think of. Anything that they had for the promo materials got most of the way there, and I think it's a pretty nice figure overall. It just really needed more time in the oven. It's not finished by any means, but visually is absolutely fantastic. And ultimately I did enjoy it, but there are so many caveats with it, so it kind of sucks. But yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully they'll do a re-release at some point, and that will fix the QC, but I kind of doubt it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed that video, and I will see you all next time. Oh hi, I didn't see you there. As you can see, I'm hard at work making new videos for the channel. Now, while I'm happy with where the channel is right now, I could use your help. By liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel, it helps out the YouTube algorithm and recommends my channel to more people. So if you like any of my videos, please let me know. It really helps out. And if you liked this one, please let me know too. It means a lot to me, and I really appreciate all of you guys.